Alrighty. What is up, everyone? How we all doing right now? I am extremely hyped to be here for this, our very last block of Retrothon. It is going to be coming to a close today, which is sad. But to finish it off with a Mario block and a Neutopia block is something that's really, really awesome. And I can't wait to kick this off here. So we're actually going to be doing Neutopia II today. And specifically, we're going to be doing the 100% category. And I'll explain that a little bit as we go along here, but I don't see any point in delaying. We're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, now. Get to enter in a name. Alrighty. So, here we go. So that's Jazeta that just took a little rip-de-rip there. He is actually the protagonist from the first game. So this is a vision that this random blonde-haired lady is having, and this kid standing there with the shield staring at her while she sleeps is normal. So she is going to tell him about what she just saw, which was his dad dying, and he needs to go to the shrine and figure out what's going on because he's been missing for a year. And so in order to aid us on our quest, she's going to give us a magic compass, which we will never, ever use or look at. So that's cool, right? There we go. Charmed compass. Whatever. Go to your shrine. Yeah, we get it. Alright, just stop talking. Let's walk. Here we go. So, interestingly enough, the second speedrun starts out exactly the way it does in the first game. We go in and we talk to the same guy, and there's the same 2 treasure chests, which contain bombs and a vial of medicine. Alrighty, so we've got lots to talk about here. First thing we're going to talk about is the music here, which absolutely bangs, so enjoy that. Now, I'm going to be killing a lot of enemies along the way, and there's a particular way to manipulate their drops, which is very finicky, and I wasn't really successful with the first time there. So, but here's the thing. One big contrast from the run of the first game is that gold is completely inconsequential. You don't use money on anything. In this game, however, we want to amass 300 gold before we get to the first town, and we already got another 50 spot there. Okay, this is good. The reason why is because in that town is going to be an extremely important weapon that we can buy. Ah, we got a bomb drop. That's great. I was lamenting. Oh my god, can't even use it. So we're going to need money. In fact, it just kind of an overarching theme to this whole run is being reliant in several ways on enemy drops. So as much bless RNG or RGL luck as you would like to spam in chat throughout the entirety of the run, especially the first half, please feel free. I could use the power. Ow. Alright, so here's the first thing we need to collect. So like I said, we're doing the 100% category. And what this means is that we need to collect all of our sword, shield, and armor upgrades. We need to collect all of our bomb capacity upgrades as well as life upgrades, which is what we just got from that guy there, as well as all permanent items. So that's our first. That's the first thing we need to collect. Astral Side, it probably reminds you of Neutopia 1. Because this is the sequel to that game. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't want to make an assumption. Oh, yeah. So damage boosts in this game. Damage boosts are comically large, which is really annoying when you get hit and you don't want to. However, we're going to use this to our advantage in several spots to either fly over things faster or just to traverse things altogether, which is nice. Oh, wow, the money. Huge. This is great. I want to see a bomb drop, though. Bombs are going to be crucial throughout the run, okay? I didn't get it, so that means I'm going to have to do some strats a little slower in this dungeon. So here's our first armor upgrade. We have the bronze armor now. This actually is pretty nice to have because the boss of this crypt is rather rude and can just do damage to us, you know, sight unseen. Here's another one of the damage boosts. Boop. We're just going to fly down that way because there's no way to avoid that enemy. It's literally right in the doorway and you're getting hit no matter what. So might as well work it to your advantage. Now, if I had extra bombs, this room could go a lot faster. But instead, we're just going to have to stab these guys to death, which is unfortunate. But could be worse. Want to go down, so let's push you down this way. Okay. Just like the first Neutopia, in each crypt there is a singular key, which is required in order to open the door to the room where the boss is. So we have to collect a key in each crypt. This is our last chance to get bombs in here. I really hope I get some here. It makes the rest of this dungeon pretty quick and perfect. Oh, what is this guy doing all the way down here in the corner? Come on, don't do that. Come on. Thank you. Alrighty, just a couple rooms left, really. Ooh, I'll take that. Okay, that's a magic ring. That has much a similar effect as it does in the first Neutopia, where it's a single-use item that is going to turn a lot of large enemies into smaller and easier to kill ones. What I just picked up there is a set of wings. Again, just like the first Neutopia, they will warp you back to the last place that you saved. And that's actually not going to be useful after this crypt, but certainly after the second one. Not having those wings and having to walk back after completing the crypt wastes at least a minute, probably a minute and a half. Ooh, and we're going to have full health going in. This is great. All right, so this is Mecha Worm, and you'll see what I'm talking about here, where he can be very rude. Where he pops out of the ground is completely random. Sometimes it's directly beneath my feet, in which case I take damage that I just cannot avoid. That was avoidable damage that I just took because I'm a doofus, but we're going to forgive this. Okay, good. I think I only need 2 more hits. Yes, good. All right. We want to kill him as close to the door as possible, so that way we can just walk on out. Yeah, the worm in Terraria was inspired by the boss here in Neutopia. So now we have the Chalice of Agony. This is actually going to be a pretty useful item. Oh, come on. Not forgiven, please. Alright, so we still need... Okay, I was going to say 70, but now it's only 20. It is really, really important that we get this money. Also want to get some more bombs. The pigs can drop bombs. Enemies in this game have unique drop tables. They can drop one of 3 things, either a common, uncommon, or rare. That's the rare drop for those jellies. $100. So we are now replete with cash. So anything that's not pigs, we can just skip for now. And once they drop bombs, I can skip them too, but not the case so far. Well, I'm glad. This game is quite lovable, and I am always happy to spread the gospel of it whenever I can. So, shoutouts to RGL TV for allowing me to showcase it here in the Neutopia block. Yeah, and you know, just looking at the schedule, I mean, there's a lot of other great Neutopia games coming up. I mean, Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, Adventure of Link, also really, really awesome Neutopia games that I think are going to be very worthy of closing out this marathon. Alright, so we're going to equip that. We're going to equip that chalice, because we're going to be using it very soon. This guy's like, hey, there's a bunch of lava here, but you have that Chalice of Agony, so why don't you go ahead and bust that on out? And turn everything into ice. And now we can walk across and get to the next section. Alright, so here we go into our first town. Two things we need to do here. The first is to stop into this shop here. The shop sells one thing and one thing alone. It sells what might look like a toy, but what this is going to be a very vicious assault weapon. We will use the boomerang extensively on most of the bosses through the rest of the game. The other stop we're going to make here is to talk to this purple robe dude. We're actually going to talk to several of these guys throughout the course of our run. They will do two things. First of all, they will refill our health. Also, they will serve as kind of like a checkpoint. When we use our wings, we will fly back to the last purple robe dude that we talked to. So this is going to help very greatly when it comes to saving time with our routing. Alright, now we got to kill these flies because we've got to get into a secret spot here. There we go. Now we can push this rock into these stairs. And now we have another old trusty friend returning from the first Neutopia in the form of an item. This is a very required item. This is the Fire Staff. Now, for those of you that are familiar with the run of the first game, you know that the Fire Staff is used extensively throughout the run. Because of its ability to do damage from a distance, and, in some cases, its extreme power. Unfortunately, it is not nearly as powerful in this one. However, it is required because we do need it to burn through some certain things. So, but seeing how this is 100%, we would get it anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. Anyway, if we were doing any percent, you would need to collect the Fire Staff there as well. So we're just making our stroll on over... Ah, good, there's the bomb drop I was looking for. Perfect. So we're just making our stroll on over to the second crypt here. In fact, I will go ahead and demonstrate the some of the capabilities of this Fire Staff right about... Yeah? Come into the staircase to talk to this dude with the blue toga. And just like the guy with the pink toga increased my capacity for life, this guy will increase my capacity to hold bombs. This is actually extremely useful for the speedrun because we use so many bombs throughout the run that being able to hold as many as possible is very nice. Now, here's the interesting thing. You get bomb upgrades in the first Neutopia as well. The difference is that in the first Neutopia, when you get the upgrade, he fills your bombs to full, whereas in this one he doesn't. Which is a bit disappointing. I'll bet you like to have more bombs. Hell yeah. Give me as many bombs as I can get. Trust me. You'll see. You'll see. And I'll be sure to point it out, but you'll see. Just how many are required through this whole run. And we'll bounce off him this way. So the deliberate damage boosting that I did there, the last two, serve two purposes. One, they move me to where I want to go faster, and also, just like in the first Neutopia, the amount of, or the kind of the trajectory of your Fire Wand is based on your current life total. So with my life total now being at 6 or below, I'm shooting out these those little fire orbs. The fire orbs are much faster and easier to control than the grade above it. While the grade above it is more powerful, having the better control makes killing things faster. Yes, every time you walk into that room, if there's an old man with something to say, best believe he's saying it. And best believe you gotta stand there and listen. Respect your elders, kids. Drop a bomb, please? No, crystal. Does me no good. Oh well. Alright, here's our key, right off the bat. Don't need to really go hunting for it. Here's where we're having the Fire Staff to just throw a couple fireballs that way, and a couple fireballs that way, and we're good. Oh, come on. Get back here. Unfortunately, the Fire Staff does nothing to these wisp enemies. I kind of need to wait for him to come down and get into sword range. I'll be using wings several times throughout the run, however, I can only hold one at a time. So if I already have one and another one drops, then it does me, unfortunately, no good. These discolored blocks shoot out those swords, as you can see. Very important to avoid those so that we don't take damage that we don't need to. Alright. So we talk to this guy, and he tells us how to beat the boss that we haven't gotten to yet. But we'll get there soon. But first we need to grab another upgrade, because it is required. Just need that guy out of my way. Ah, shoot. Oh, I did it! I did it! I got the quad on one throw! Yes! Oh, that is not very common to see. Usually they like to go in all kinds of different crazy directions and be very disagreeable, but there, the stars, or I suppose the slimes, aligned to allow me to get the quad. I'm actually really excited about that. Alrighty. So we got the bronze sword upgrade. You got the bronze shield upgrade in the beginning of the crypt, so we're all bronzed out. We have to talk to this guy again, just like we were talking about before. Blow a hole in this wall. Bring back the murderang. It's going to help us make pretty quick work of these skeleton guys. So in the room before the boss, the enemies that appear in it, you have to kill them before the key will work. Alright. Here are the maggot moths. When they drop down and become vulnerable is totally random. However, if you stay to their side or above them, they only shoot downward. So, you can stay pretty safe. That was actually a really quick kill. Usually they like to fly up in the corners, just mess around, and just bleed time. But there they were actually pretty cooperative. We're going to turn on our wings, because as soon as we touch the ground outside, we're going to want to use this. So we have the Manipula Herb. We'll be using this pretty soon. Alrighty. So yeah, again, that probably saved us about a minute and a half of just backtrack walking by using those wings, as opposed to, as opposed to just using the wings. This game is fantastic, and, you know, like I said before, spreading the gospel of the Neutopia games is something that I have, kind of devoted myself to at certain times throughout my speedrunning career, so bringing more folks into the Neutopia fold is something that I am always very excited about and willing to do. So, by all means, if you are enjoying this game and you'd like to see more games like it speedrun, then my channel is one you will want to follow, because the whole kind of action RPG genre like this is one that I run several different games of this style. And some of them I actually do kind of well, so that'd be cool to watch. Sorry about that. Alright, so here we go. So this is Princess Kea. She is telling us about a little more about the lore of what was going on with Dad and how she thinks she might help. She wants us to put the Chalice of Agony into the goddess statue's hands. And let's just see what happens. It's going to sparkle, and then a heavenly light will shine forth. It'll look right, it'll look left, and then right again, and a staircase. Oh, shots fired, Sin. Thanks. Not yet. Nice. Alrighty. So now we're on our way to the third crypt. These treants can be really annoying. However, their wake-up time is so long that we can just walk right by them before they actually do anything to us, in most cases. Yeah, see, they smell me coming nearby, but by the time they come out to get me, I'm already long gone. Alright, we want to enter this screen on the very lowest part here, so that we could just immediately kill that. Alright, so for those of you that are subs to RGL TV, get out your RGL Hot Jams emotes, because we are in a place that I like to affectionately refer to as the Dope Beat Cave. Why it's called that should be pretty self-explanatory if you're wearing your headphones. Aw, yeah. So, yeah, the Berry White Cave, yeah, it kind of does have that feel to it, I agree. So, unfortunately, we didn't get any bomb drops from the rocks there. It is one of their rarer drops, so the fact that we didn't get it is not a huge surprise, but we already have 10. That's going to be enough to get us through this crypt, but we're going to need some help before we get to the next one. That is for sure. Alrighty. So, these purple-robed wizards are returning from the first game. Fortunately, in this game, they are not nearly as difficult to deal with. They're not nearly as dangerous. But the trade-off for that is that they will sometimes they will disappear for a few seconds, during which point you cannot do any damage to them. That's irritating. See, I knew that lightning bolt was going to hit me, so instead of taking it face on, you change, because the way that damage boost works in this game, I was talking about them before, is that no matter what hits you or what direction it hits you from, you will always be boosted. Yes, okay, good. You will always be boosted in the opposite direction of what you're facing when you get hit. So we use this to our advantage in several spots. Definitely not Wizrobes. All right. Old man talking again. So the money was for the boomerang that we bought, which again you're going to see it used. It is going to be the weapon we will use exclusively on the boss of this crypt, as well as a few more coming up as well. From this point forward, the only thing that money is important for is there's going to be a weapon that we're going to be getting here, and every time you use it, it costs 10 gold. So you definitely want to have enough gold to do that. But also, one interesting thing with the boomerang is it encapsulates the phrase, "With great power comes great responsibility." And what I mean by that is that when you throw a boomerang, and we all know how a boomerang works, you throw it and it comes back to you, right? If you are not in the way of its return trajectory, when it's coming back and it sails by you, you lose it. Like, it is gone from your inventory. So the only other thing that we would need money for at this point, especially earlier on in the game, is if we needed to buy another one. That's extremely rare. Not to lose the boomerang, but moreover to buy another one, because by the time I typically would lose it, I'm at a point so far in the game that backtracking to the point where I would be able to buy another one would be so prohibitive when it comes to the amount of time that we just don't do it. Oh, come on, don't do that. Okay, good. Got them both before they disappeared. Alrighty. Less RNG for these guys, because they can drop bombs. I would love to see at least one pack here. Damn. Okay, well, this is going to make this next dungeon a little dicey. In that I will probably have to do some alternate routing or just hope I get lucky with the rocks on the way back. Okay, so just so you know, that room there that has kind of the W-shaped water pattern, there was a tile that I needed to step on in order to lower the block in the corner so I can get through there. On my screen, I can't see anything at all, just so you know. Alright, so here's the Weirtoad. The Weirtoad can do one of 3 attacks. It can either do these tongue spores, it can just do these tongue spores, or it can do the golden brain. While it is doing the golden brain, that's the only time that it's vulnerable. Now, when it does which attacks, completely random. So this, it can also do that tongue lash there as well. So, how many cycles this boss takes, we have no control over that. I've killed it in as quick as 2. It's also gone close to 30 cycles, just because it refused to give me the golden brain. But luckily, that wasn't too bad. I'd say a little below average, but fine. We got through there. Now, you might have noticed that after I hit it the first time, that fireball was slowly coming right at me, and I just face-tanked it. The reason being is that I wanted to make sure, extra special careful sure, that I stayed in the trajectory of my returning boomerang. And if that means taking damage, and you'll see me do this at other points in the game, if the choices are taking damage or losing my boomerang, I'm taking that damage damn near every time. Alright, so another return trip through Dope Beat Cave. There's the bomb drop I really was looking for. That is a sigh of relief, because we're going to need several bombs in the next crypt. If you don't have enough bombs to get through the crypts, there are alternate routes that you can take, but as I'm sure you can imagine, those routes are slower. I'll go ahead and kill these 2. Let's see if I get another one. Lucky? Lucky me? No. Okay, whatever. Check out Weirtoad with the big golden brain. Alrighty, so this is a crypt where despite the fact that I have a pair of wings, we are very, very deliberately not going to use them for a rather important reason. And that reason is we are going to walk back kind of an alternate route here. And we do so because, as you can see, the arrow wants us to go right here. We're going to pick up an extremely important item for the speed run. We're going to talk to Karim the Cobbler, and he's going to give us another returning favorite from the first game. We have obtained the Falcon Shoes. These are going to greatly increase my walking speed. And as I'm sure you can guess, in a speed run, that's pretty nice. So now we can just kind of zoom through a lot of these screens. Falcon Shoes! Alright, now, let's see if I get this here. I gotta walk, like, right on a specific tile to get through. Perfect. Okay, good. If I get snagged on that tree just traps me in a corner there and does a bunch of damage, wastes a bunch of time, and just makes it no fun. Alright. So, this guy's gonna give me the Wind Staff. I'm only collecting this because it's required for 100%. There's one application for this where it's kind of useful if you don't have a boomerang. But presuming that I do have it, that Wind Staff will never get used. At least not by me. Foreshadowing. Alright. So we come in here, we push this grandfather clock around out of the way. Another returning item from the first game. This is the Moonbeam Moss. What this does is, it's an item that has infinite charges, and you can use it in rooms that are dark, and it will illuminate them. Casually playing through Neutopia 1, the Moonbeam Moss was pretty much required. In this game, it's not nearly as important. So again, another one that you're picking up just because we need to satisfy 100%. Talk to the Purple Road Dude because we're going to want to transport to him after the end of this next crypt. shove some enemies out of the way. See if we can make this guy teleport. Perfect. Here comes another bomb capacity upgrade, and this is right on time because these crypts coming up require a lot of bombs to get through. So now we experience ice physics. We're going to do a little slipping and sliding here. We're going to slide by him. We're going to go into here. And we're going to talk to another cobbler. And this cobbler is going to give us the snow boots. And guess what the snow boots do? They completely nullify all ice physics. So we literally slip on the ice for 3 screens, and then we're done. That's it. We don't have to worry about it anymore. Pretty convenient. Alright, so that was the crypt you just saw on the last screen there, but we got to do a little loop-de-loop to get around to it. Yes, Mickey. See, here's the thing. A lot of these things are just implied, so I just assume that you know it, but yes. The inspiration of Neutopia knows no bounds. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this guy. Lucky bomb drop? No. Okay, never mind. We've got enough bombs to get through this crypt, but that doesn't mean that we want to just rest on that. We would always love to have more. Yep. Alrighty. So we're coming up in here. This is going to net us the silver sword. The bump in damage from the bronze to the silver sword is pretty significant, so this is going to help us make pretty quick work of a lot of the enemies that we're going to be required to kill over the course of the next 2 crypts. So that's something that I would go out of the way here to get, even in any percent. So pretty nice item to have. Alrighty. Some of these trap tiles here reveal those spike blocks. Fortunately, they're toggles, so all you got to do is step on them again, and they disappear. Boomerang makes pretty quick work of these tongue-lashing totem, whatever the hell those things are. Don't want to get hit by the ghost there. Already have wings. That's a nice sigh of relief. Already have 3 ghosts killed. That'll make coming back through this room pretty easy. Alrighty. So here we pick up the flail. The flail is the item that I was referring to earlier that costs 10 gold per use. The flail is extremely weak. It doesn't do very much damage at all. However, it has massive range. And this is going to be extremely useful on one particular type of enemy where we will use the flail exclusively. But other than that, we don't do anything with it. I'm only going to have 2 bombs after I'm done here. Unless the wolves before the boss hook me up. So use a bomb here. We use a bomb here. If you weren't counting at home, that's 7 bombs I needed in this crypt. Which sounds like a lot, but is nothing compared to what I'm going to do in Crypt 6. Pardon me. Alrighty. Now, one thing I haven't really talked about in this game, and especially how it differs from the first Neutopia, is that there is a ton of RNG that you need to deal with here with the bosses, whereas in the first Neutopia, they were pretty much all set. This is going to be the rare instance of an enemy where we're going to be able to manipulate it pretty much completely. We stand up here at shoulder length to the left, we're going to bait out 4 of these punches. There's the 3rd one. There's the 4th, then it's going to sit down and scoot at me. Shortly after it sits down, we're going to hit it with the boomerang a few times. And then we're going to come over here to its right, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bait out 5 punches this time. There's 2. It's not even going to walk. Just punch. Number 4. Number 5. Now, if I time this right, this will be the last cycle of this boss. Perfect. Needed to throw in a sword stab there just to top it off, but 2 cycle is exactly what you want to see there. Alright, get our wings ready again. We're going to need them as soon as we're done with the script. So this guy here is going to give us the Aqua Lung. This is going to allow us to breathe underwater. Yeah, that's exactly how you want that robot fight to go. So, that was good. Alrighty. So again, a theme that we've been talking about throughout this game. Music in here is awesome. The underwater music is great. However, I'm only on it for a few screens, so you don't get to hear it for very long. But I'll let you enjoy it. Alrighty, so this is Crypt 5. Crypt 5 is noteworthy in that there's a lot of fighting that you have to do, and it's very execution heavy. I also got 2 bombs and a wing. That is literally a smorgasbord of item drop RNG there. That was an absolute thing of beauty. I am a very happy Vonnie right now. I will not lie about that. Okay, these water droplet enemies, we're going to be encountering several of these throughout the rest of the game. They are manipulatable as far as how they move, but they're still rather annoying. But we can kind of just sail right through this guy because we know he's going to make that jump. We can bait him to jump down and just stay there and we kill it. Bait this guy to come up here. Oops, hello. There we go. Should bait him on over here, and 1, 2, 3. Perfect. This game came out in 1990. Need bombs here. Alrighty. I'm gonna use this damage boost here to take the faster teleport out of here. Perfect. Ooh, I'll take that heart. Yeah, we're going to have to take at least a couple damage boosts from the boss, so having a decent amount of life throughout this crypt is it's actually pretty important. But we make a quick detour here. Perfect. Damage boost was just what I needed to get the silver armor. So now, oh, oops, hello. Goodness. So now we have all our silver gear. And spoiler alert, our final upgrade of gear will be gold, for the most part. Yeah, old men being chained up in crypts is kind of a theme throughout the 2 games. I don't know if there's some kind of underlying issues that the developers of this game were kind of trying to work out with these old men, but you just know that if you're playing Neutopia, you're going to see geriatric men shackled in dungeons. It's just the way things are. This room can be really annoying based on how these things spawn, but it looks like... Oh, get out of my way. Okay, we're fine. As long as we get to that point, we're good. Alrighty. Perfect. Now, this boss here, you might recognize. This is the Kraken from the very first cutscene of the game. And you see here, we very deliberately throw our boomerang straight up and then just stay there. Because if we move to the left, if we're not facing the right way when it bumps us, that boomerang's going to go right by us and make and make the rest of this run a lot more difficult. But here it... Look! It's Dad! So this is Jazeta. Again, he is the protagonist from the first game, and he says, "Look, son. I tried, but I failed. I wasn't strong enough. You are of the bloodline. You can defeat the evil Dearth and bring peace back to Neutopia once again. Here is the Sword of Legend. Use it to go forth. Slay the beasts. But now, it's time for me to take a nap." Alright, so now we can go into the left side of the shrine here. This is the one where we healed Kea, and she told us about the goddess statue. So now we're going to take that Sword of Legend. We're going to drive it into this rock. It's going to go into the ground. It's going to shoot up, spin out all swaggy, and we're just going to catch it and move on. His spirit will be set free, Synth. Don't worry about good old Jazzy J. He's fine. I mean, he's dead, but he's fine. Alrighty. Pop in here. Purple robe guy. Thanks for the healing. Alright. Now we make the trek up to Crypt 6. Again, we see all this ice here, but it might as well just be... Might as well be your living room carpet, because we are having no problem walking across it. Nice pattern from those spirit things. Normally they like to just bounce all up in my way. Another Neutopia clone, you mean, GB Production. Not to be, not to get too pedantic, but, I just happened to notice that in chat. Alright, so here's Crypt 6. This is by far the longest crypt of the game. This also requires 17 bombs to get through. 17. I only have the capacity to hold 16 right now. So, as you might imagine, I'm going to be asking for bomb drops pretty regularly. Alrighty. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's one of them that I needed. Those blue crystals will automatically kill everything on the screen. Unfortunately, when you do that, they will never drop anything. So in a place like this where I need the bomb drops from those enemies, the time trade-off that you save versus the opportunity to get more bombs, it's very situational. So you kind of have to think on the fly with what you do with those things when the opportunity is presented. There's two of these spiral rooms in this crypt where you've got these conveyor belts that really, really, really just want to send you careening into these dagger blocks, and we do our best to avoid them. All right, now coming up in this next room is going to be the enemies that I was referring to earlier that we are going to flail. These are the cloud enemies. Now here's the flail. You see how long it is and how I can throw it all the way around the room and just make super quick work of them. Trying to kill those things with your sword is a huge pain in the butt. Now, one thing we have to be very careful with here is the flail will also pick up item drops from enemies. The clouds drop hourglasses. If you have not split... what the hourglass does is it freezes time for about 15-20 seconds. If you have not split a cloud to its smallest form while it's frozen in time, you can't do any more further damage to it. So we want to avoid using those. Normally the hourglass can be a very useful item, but in that particular application, it can actually be a huge waste of time. So it's just something you have to be very careful with when you're swinging that flail all around. Put someone's eye out. Oh man, the whole inspiration theme of Neutopia is one that gets it's one that gets stronger every day, and I gotta tell you, you love to see it. Whoa! Oh, Sawblade, don't do it! Oh, thank God! All right. I did not want to have to hesitate again there. You can do that in essentially, I guess, one cycle if you want to call it that. I don't need wings, which is such a beautiful thing, because these little Grim Reaper dudes, while adorable and whatnot, are very annoying to fight. However, sometimes we like to do it because they can drop wings, but fortunately, I already have a set, and I'm good to go. Sawblade, don't touch me. Hashtag don't touch me. Hashtag social distancing. Alrighty, I am keeping an eye on my bomb count, and I would love to see some drops coming up here. These dragon enemies commonly drop bombs, so that's absolutely what we want to see. There we go, thank you. One drop alone doesn't solve all my problems, but it certainly helps to alleviate some of the pressure. Got to walk through this room in a very particular fashion so you don't generate a ton of spikes and make it very dangerous to get through. You know, Marsh Creature, it sure did, and what's really unfortunate is that it was, I mean, not. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It was a commercial failure in North America. It just got swallowed up by the Sega Genesis and then ultimately done in by the Super Nintendo. But it had a ton of great games. Now, what's interesting about the North American version of the TurboGrafx is that the game library that we got here in North America is just a mere fraction of the games that they made for Japan. Because in Japan, where it was referred to as the PC engine, it was actually pretty popular. Yo, I have full health right now. That is a beautiful sight. It's very uncommon. So there's just a ton of Japanese games that the American audience never got to experience, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of really cool ones too. If you were tuning in for our Neutopia, I'm sorry, well, yeah, I actually didn't run Neutopia in that. For our TurboGrafx 16 block that we did yesterday, you would have seen plenty of those Japanese games that I'm referring to. A lot of really cool ones, so. Alright, this room is very much a pain. Oh, a bomb drop. Oh, another one! Oh my god, we're set. The Pog. That is not a common drop from Knight, so the fact that I got two in the same room is massive. Alrighty. So, for a change of pace, instead of having an old man, we have a young woman in here. And she's like, yeah, I know Dirth is scared of you. You need to go and kick his butt. Here's the Flute of Murdoch. You're going to use this in exactly one place alone, but it's required. So. Alright, we're going to slip a bomb right down there. And then another one here. We do that because the fuse for the bomb is so long that if we can, and I did it in Crypt 3 as well. If we can just blow a hole open and know we're going to use it later, it just saves the time for us having to wait for that fuse. Oh, let's see if I can step between the teleports. Perfect. Normally you're supposed to step on one of those blue kind of teleport-looking things, and it takes you to another one in the room. However, if you walk on the seam between them, you will trigger neither of them, and you can just walk on through. Cove, really? Alright, here we have to fight these guys. We don't want to step on those little diamond plates because those produce a bunch of spikes. We don't like that. Alrighty. So we do this typically in the, in actually both versions of the speedrun, is we pick up our second medicine here, because it's not too much of a detour to do it. If everything goes well, I will only use medicine when fighting the final boss, just because we just take a huge number of damage boosts from it, and we just use the medicine to keep our life full, so we can basically just wreck his face and kill him as quickly as possible. Alright, we are very close to the end of the crypt. In fact, this next room is the pre-boss room. Alright, so after this long, epic crypt, we fight Medusa, and she looks pretty scary, but all we're going to do is stand to our left, throw a bunch of boomerangs, stab her when she gets in a rage, throw the boomerang again, throw it a third time, and she's done. That's that. Alrighty, so our reward for this crypt is twofold. One is another returning item from the first one, the Bell of Heaven. We are going to actually use this right away as soon as we leave. Got to step off the stairs first. Use the Bell of Heaven, we go hurtling into the sky. And we get dropped off on this air island. We get the Sun Flame. And we're going to go hurtling into the sky again. Alright. Little walking to do here because we do need to... We're going to walk back to where we came from, but we're going to take a slight detour to pick up a very necessary item. Alrighty. Go up to the left here. We're going to do a little toodaloo to that Flute of Murdoch. And we're going to wake up this ice golem, who is very upset at Dearth for putting him there. Frozen underground. Not cool. He's going to give us a yellow medallion. There are going to be yellow, green, blue, and red medallions, which we will collect. Having all four of them will grant us access to the final crypt of the game, where we will confront Dearth and ultimately vanquish him. So that's our first of the four medallions. We're going to get the next two in pretty quick succession here. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, back to the town where we were before. We pop into here. We take the legendary sword and the Sun Flame. We give it to the smith here, who in return gives us the Sun Sword. This is essentially the golden sword. It is the strongest stabbing weapon in the game. And then immediately after that, we come here. We gotta kill all these funky chameleon dudes. Oh, a bomb drop. What's up? And then we have to talk to this guy. So we got the Fire Staff, which has plenty of use. We've got the Wind Staff, which is virtually useless. This guy is going to give us the Thunder Staff, which is so laughably bad, even when you're playing it casually, that there's just no point to even, like, mentioning it again. At all. Because it's horrible. But we have to get it, because 100%. You know what it's like, and I made this analogy the other day. It's like, when you were a kid, and you wanted to have a birthday party, and you wanted to invite some of the friends from your class, but not all of them, but you were told that you needed to invite all of them so it wouldn't be rude to the other kids. The other kids are the Thunderstaff. That's basically what it is. It's like, we don't want it, but we gotta get it. Oops, no, dang it. I did that wrong. That's what I wanted to do. Boost down this way, because we got to use our Fire Staff. Come in here, we get our final bomb upgrade. Oh, but I mean, come on. Tell me. I'm not saying that necessarily any of you would have did this, but I mean, you know what I mean, right? That It's just an analogy, folks. Let's not get too carried away, okay? Anyway, suffice it to say that the Thunder Staff is terrible. Can we agree on that? All right. So, oh, I'm sorry, and I totally missed this here. So that was the scientist Nanyo. He says, oh, hey, you need to climb inside a volcano? I know just what you need. Here's a magic hand. Literally gives us a magic hand. And that, for some reason, because video game logic, will grant us access into an active volcano. Oh my god. Alright, anyway, back to the speedrun. So now we're gonna head down this. Okay, so you see that's what that blue crystal does, is it freezes all the enemies. They collapse into a heap and are defeated. Alrighty, so here is said volcano. So this isn't even really a crypt. We do this one fight here with these guys, then there's a boss, and then we're done. These enemies here are the worst regular enemies in the game. Their hitboxes are impossible. They like to fly across the top of the screen where you can't hit them, and they just suck. Alright, so here's Salamander. We wait for a second, then throw the boomerang, wait for its hitboxes to be active, stab it a couple times, stab it a bunch there, and then we're done. That's it. Very easy boss. The boss, that's another one that you could just manipulate. He just basically comes straight down, piles up right under you, and you can just stab it a bunch. Now we have the red medallion. 2 down, 2 to go. Okay. So that Salamander boss was trivial. The next boss that we are about to fight is, by far, without question, unequivocally, the worst boss in the game. What we're about to experience here is a fantastic source of frustration for me on a regular basis whenever I run this game. Why am I killing this thing? Oh, cool. Got an hourglass. That's a damage I didn't need to take. What I was thinking there. Anyway. Alright, we gotta burn through some trees here. Kill these ogres. So, you see, these ogres, they smack their clubs against the ground, and if you are in the range of that smack when it hits, it actually stuns you for a couple seconds and you can't walk. Alright, I'm gonna go quiet here aside from my expletives, because this boss, Zorbon, is horrible. Oh, God. Yes. Okay, good. All right, so we're in pretty good shape now. So here's how this boss works. When it's jumping around and landing and shooting its water like that, you can't do anything to it. Now, when it's down to its smallest water droplets, then you can just kill him with your sword. But when it decides to scoot around the room and let you hit it with the boomerang, completely random. So it can just sit there and split into many forms and just fill the screen with garbage and just make your day super miserable. The fact that I got out of there without using a potion is huge. I'm sorry. Let me finish that. Without using my potion and keeping my boomerang, that is a very notorious spot for costing me my boomerang. So the fact that I still have that and both my potions is chef's kiss. We now have the blue medallion. 3 down, 1 to go. Yeah. Zorbon is a Thunderstaff kid. I shouldn't perpetuate that anymore. I feel like some people were upset with that. Anyway. Alright, so we've only got 2 more crypts to go. Everybody's gonna stand for Zorbon now? Alright, whatever. Alright, so we gotta kill these spiders to make the statues rumble and create a doorway into the crypt. Alrighty. Now, this crypt has a lot of crap that we need to deal with. Like a lot of these spike tiles and things like that. So, the difficulty certainly ramps up. That's right. I gotta kill these guys first. Oh my god, with your clubs. Stay away from me. Don't touch me. Alright. Good. We have plenty of bombs for the rest of the game, by the way, so no more fretting about those drops. In fact, there's really no other drops I need to worry about at all. Alrighty. Here's where using the wind staff can be nice if you don't have the boomerang. However, the boomerang just does more damage, and provided that these knights actually get in the way of what I want to do here, then we're good. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought I walked away from that boomerang just as it was coming back. Phew. All right. That made me pucker for a second there, but we're good. We're good. We got it. We caught it. All right, we do have to use bomb here, though. Don't touch me. Thank you. Alright, we now have the gold armor, so all of our equipment is intact. Alrighty, so now that item that I was touting before, the Bell of Heaven, this is going to start to come in really handy. What the Bell of Heaven does is, anytime you're in a situation where you just need to, like, push a... See, this is why these enemies are awful. Anytime you're in a situation where you need to just push a block or something like that, in order to make a door appear, or a door open, ringing the bell will open it instead. So instead of me having to go all the way up there to push that block, I just ring the bell instead, and the door magically opens. It is beautiful. We're going to use that extensively throughout these, throughout the rest of this crypt and the final crypt as well, just to save us a whole bunch of collective time. Let's get him out of the way. I would like to have as much health as possible here, because we are going to be doing, we are going to be taking a lot of damage on this boss too. So the closer I am to full, the better off I am. If I have to use a potion here, it's not the end of the world, but keeping that potion will probably save me close to a minute. Shoot, I was hoping for a heart drop there. There's still an opportunity for another one. I'm only half a heart down. That's really not that big a deal. Alright, we ring the bell as opposed to going all the way to the bottom of the screen to push that block. Hello, thank you. Oh, nice. Full health. Perfect. Okay. So this boss is Sorfloyd. Now, it's not terribly random as far as what it does. Its movement, however, is very random. So after a certain cycle of time, it's going to open up, it's going to reveal the pistol there in the middle, and that's when it's susceptible to damage. This boss fight is made much easier and safer with the boomerang. The only thing that kind of sucks about this boss is that its hitbox is weird. It's like floating above it, which is kind of strange. Oh, 3 cycles, please? Ah, dang it. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. We're going to do it without using a potion. That's the big win. There we go. Okay, good. The very beginning of the 4th. We'll take that. Yo, thank you for the recognition there, Electric Orchestra. Accuracy is key. Alrighty. So now we've gotten through this crypt. We now have the 4th and final medallion, which means that we can make a beeline to the final crypt. Yes. Pistol. It does not have a handgun that comes out of it. Though that'd be pretty savage if, like, it was just this flower that floated around and then all of a sudden just started, like, firing bullets at you. Instead, it shoots out all those petals, which I suppose makes sense as well. Alright. So we're only a few screens away from the final crypt, but we have to make a slight detour here. And we talked to this guy. He is one with the pink toga, which means he is going to give us another segment of life. And with that, short of defeating the final boss, we have satisfied everything that we need to do for the 100% category. Oh, wow. We're actually on a pretty decent pace here. This could be... Well, I'm hoping this could be a 112. That'd be sweet. World record is 111 2x, so we're probably going to fall short of that. But... yeah, this could be a 112. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be happy with that for sure. Okay, here we go. Come on. There we go. Alright, so we affix the 4 medallions into the corners of this emblem here in the ground. Oh god, here we go. Flower puns. Alright, I'll let y'all run with that. We are into the final crypt now. And we're immediately welcomed in this room by having to fight these Grim Reaper guys in a room where it's very awkward to do so with the bridge. The Rainbow Bridge. In most cases, you can only move on the Rainbow Bridge in 2 directions. The direction where you entered and the direction opposite of it. So it makes maneuvering around them very awkward. Alright, this room can be a huge waste of time because, as you can see, I can't get to those two bugs at the top. So what you want them to do is hopefully just kind of slither on down into the corner here. I can stab them a bunch, and yes, now we can push through. Okay, we're going to encounter pretty much the exact same thing here. We've got 2 mushrooms on this side of the blocks, 2 on the other. Come on, get in the corner. Let's go. Thank you. Okay, we're just gonna use the fire staff for this guy. I'm not gonna. Oh, unless it comes into range. Oh my God! Come on. There we go. Okay, good. Now we're good. Ooh, and I get a heart refund there. I'll take that. Okay. This is going to be our last sighting of these cloud enemies, so we'll use the flail one last time to clear them out. Oh my god, look at all the hourglasses. That's crazy. Oh boy. Good. No. Come back here. Thank you. Alrighty. Oops. Gotta do that. Alrighty, so these are flying squirrels. They look adorable, right? I hate these things. They're such a pain in the ass. Alright. Oh, hello. Come on. Alrighty. Yo, dude, 2010. Would you care to expound on that? I always love hearing dissenting views. Alright, we use the bell. Alright. Fortunately, we don't have to fight these squirrels here because we're just bombing out of here. The less we have to encounter with squirrels, the better. And that's going to be exemplified very greatly in this room here. We've been holding on to this ring for the entire game for this room right here. If you don't have that room can take forever and you can sustain a ton of damage. However, with the ring, we get through it unscathed very quickly. Everyone's happy. And yeah, dude, that's the way it works. Alrighty. Now, if we needed another potion, we would go down there as opposed to left here to pick that up. But the fact that we don't need to do that saves about a minute. Alrighty. Ah, excellent question. And in fact, I'm about to go into my menu here. So the spots next to where the bell is, those are the Manipular Herb and the Chalice of Agony, which we both, we use them. So yes, they do leave our inventory. Those spots are to remain empty after those items get used. So it's a good question, though. I actually did a practice run the other day where I forgot the silver shield. And it was horrifying because I was like, oh, please don't do this in the marathon. But I haven't forgotten anything. I've gotten it all. Ah, yeah, I don't want this. Not like this. No, no. Oh, God. This just makes us a big pain in the butt. All right, not too much longer here. Yeah, that's called making proper use of the Thunder Staff, Mickey. Ignoring it. Alright, so this is the final floor here. So what this guy basically tells us, like, hey, if you didn't collect all the gold gear, don't even bother going in, because you actually can't access the boss until you have the gold shield, the gold armor, and the sun sword. So they are required items no matter what. Oh, God. What am I doing? Come on. Come on. Thank you. Alright. If we're going to make this a 112, I think the final boss is going to need to cooperate. And he's actually in the next room. Alright. Here we go. No. Yes. Okay. Good. Alright. Here we go. So this is Dirth. He's the final boss. He's actually the final boss of the first game, too, so he is returning to wreak more havoc. Now, you see he's got that big, scary sword on his belt, right? He's not going to use it at all. Instead, he's going to steal all 3 of my staffs and use them against me. Now, what makes that funny is that in the any percent run, you only pick up the fire staff, and yet when you come to fight him here, he still has all 3. So, and just like you would imagine, there's a priority of items that you want to see him use. We want to see him use lightning the most. And the reason for that, all the staffs do the same amount of damage, but the reason for that is that when he uses the lightning staff, he reappears much sooner. So here we go. We just tank in the hits, but we use the potions to mitigate it. Time is going to be on the final hit of Dirth when he stops fighting back, and then the screen starts to light up. Which shouldn't be too much longer here. So it looks like, oh, it's close, it's close. Now, rip 112. Oh, come on. There it is. And that's time. Alrighty. So a very low 113. That's actually a really, really good time. So I am very happy about that. Yo. Thank you, everyone, for the GGs. But in there, Mickey G dropping 113 bits. That is also very well appreciated. So here we go. So now that the power of the crystals have been revealed, we get one more conversation with Dad, who infuses us with his spirit and says, gives us a pat on the shoulder and says, well done, son. Well done. Alrighty. And then we just basically go on a tour through Neutopia, and we're just like, yeah, that's right, I saved y'all. Show me some love. And they do, which is cool. So, we appreciate it. Yo, Silver Moon, thank you for the 3 bits. Alright, so, before I go, I believe, and if I look at the schedule, Yeah, all right, so a couple things. So if you enjoyed this game, if you enjoyed me, if you enjoyed both, please do give me a follow. I run games like this all the time on there, so you definitely will enjoy that. Looking at the schedule now, I am indeed the final staff member to be running a game here. So I know we're going to do a finale, but I do just want to take a second to say, on behalf of all of the staff at RGL TV, an enormous thank you to all of you for making this week so amazing. We've had a ton of people really hype in chat, subs, bits, support, retweets, all that stuff. This is our flagship event every year, and it's huge. We always want it to be a big success, and a lot of you out there watching are a huge part of that. So again, just a ton of gratitude on behalf of the folks at RGL TV for making this event so awesome. And here's the thing, it's not even over. We've got a ton of great Neutopia games coming up. We've got Legend of Zelda, the Zelda Wand of Gamelon, Zelda's Adventure, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, that's a pretty sweet Neutopia game. Link to the Past, that's a Neutopia classic. BS Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2 Adventure of Link to close out the Neutopia block. So, thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to stick around. We've got some CDI Zelda games coming up here, and those are super rad for very particular reasons. So you don't want to miss those. Again, appreciate y'all watching. Stick around for more Retrothon. My name is Vonnie Vaughn. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care, folks.